Shalom, Royal Family. The class you are about to hear is taught by the Honorable Yudhe Beit Nun Sophie Yudhe many years ago. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Visit us at www.yahweh144000.com. Also, Royal Family, you can enroll in classes designed for the Godhead at www.universityofyahweh.org. Enjoy.
This flaming sword devours all the enemies of Yudhe who have ever attempted to get to and use the tree of life. This flaming sword has devoured and is satiated and made drunk with the blood of Yudhe enemies for 6,000 years. Shall the flaming sword devour forever? No. At the coming of Yudhe Bethlehem Sophie, Yudhe is Judgment Day, wherein the people of earth is free to repent and return to Yudhe and eat of the tree of life forever, enjoying eternal life. That's what Judgment Day is about. As has clearly been shown, the wicked have been cut off from the tree of life for 6,000 years by a flaming sword which turns every way to keep the tree of life. So now we must take a good look at the penalty of disobeying the commandment of Yudhe not to eat of the tree of good and evil. Any corrupt people who attempted to come near the tree of life, their minds would be turned over. Anyone who attempted to come to the tree of life, their minds would be turned around, turned back. Any corrupt people who attempted to come near the tree of life, and they all are corrupt according to Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, would be overturned, overthrown. Any people attempted to come near the tree of life would be converted to evil and changed. Any people who would come near the tree of life would be perverted. Any people who would attempt to come near the tree of life would be destroyed. Yudhe poured out his anger upon the impenitent Sodom and Gomorrah, who loved the fruit of the tree of good and evil. Just loved it. Loved it. Therefore, Yudhe overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of those cities, and that which grew up on the ground. And it came to pass when Yudhe destroyed the cities of the plain, that Yudhe remembered Abraham, the one to whom he made the promise, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. The presence of Yudhe Bethlehem Sophie, Yudhe is Judgment Day. And any country that rejects the Messiah, Yudhe Bethlehem Sophie, Yudhe who is also the tree of life, that whole land shall be brimstone and salt and burning. That is not sown, nor barren, nor any grass will grow therein, just like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, which Yudhe overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. The whole world is a witness that the so-called black man is totally destroyed as descendants of Adam, and to this very day now love to eat from the tree of good and evil. And therefore they are separated unto evil, and are reaping all the curses of the covenant that are written in the book of the law of Yudhe. Even all nations say, why has Yudhe done this unto the so-called black man? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? These men say and answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yudhe, God of their fathers, which he, Yudhe, made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. As you can clearly see today, the so-called black man is serving other gods and serving other religions and worship them. Gods and religions whom they know not, and whom Yahweh has not given unto them. And the anger of Yahweh is kindled against the so-called black man, to bring upon him all the curses that are written in the Holy Bible. This is why Yahweh rooted the so-called black man out of his land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast you into this strange land of America and the four corners of the earth, as it is this day. The secret things belong unto Yahweh, our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of the law of Yahweh. And America, the glory of kingdom, the beauty of the Europeans' excellency, who hold the tribe of Judah mentally and spiritually captive, forcing them to eat from the tree of good and evil, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. The cherubim, the special order of angels, and the flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life, comes from the Hebrew word shama. To keep comes from the Hebrew word shamar, S-H-A-W-M-A-R, spelled sheen, mem, resh. It means to guard, to keep safe, to preserve, to protect. It means to watch as a watchman. It means to put a hedge around something, as with thorns, as was around Job in the book of Job. To keep means to retain, to keep the commandments of Yahweh, to keep the Sabbath, to keep a promise, to regard or to be guarded, to take heed, to beware, and to revere. Shema, Sheen, Mem, Resh, expresses the careful attention which must be paid to the obligation of a covenant or agreement, to the laws or to the statutes. Abraham gave orders to his children to keep the way of Yahweh. The cherubim, this special order of angels, this special group of men, guarded against intruders in Genesis chapter 3, verse 24. Almighty Yahweh warned Satan not to touch Yahweh's Bethlehem feet, Yahweh's life, in the archetype Job, in Job chapter 2, verse 6. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, Yahweh is in your hand, but save his life. Behold, Yahweh, Bethlehem feet, Yahweh comes in the volume of the book. The way, in that particular verse, Genesis 3:24, the way of the tree of life. That means to travel the road as trodden. The way of the tree of life means to follow that course of life. The way of the tree of life means to follow that mode of action. The way of the tree of life means to keep a holy conversation. The way of the tree of life means to travel eastward, to follow the high path. Now this information comes from the Hebrew word derek, which is dalet resh kusofit. Kusofit. Derek. D-E-H-R-E-K in English, which further means to follow this way of life and worship. It refers to the righteous actions and behavior of men. So now we have a clear vision and revelation of how powerful and how holy our feasts are. as we look at the Feast of Weeks. Now, we have a clear view of the reality that from our forefathers, Adam, the son of Yahweh, until this day, we, the children of Yahweh, have been banished and exiled from our native land and natural rulership of heaven for 5,996 years. And the basis of our heavenly rulership, the tree of life, has been hid from our view. And from the days of Adam until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh heaven by force of words, followed by violent acts. Lucifer, the serpent, used the force of words to beguile Eve and deceive Adam, the son of Yahweh, out of his position and the rulership of heaven. Lucifer said, yes, as Yahweh said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die. For Yahweh does know that in the day you eat from the tree of good and evil, those words of philosophy, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. What made Lucifer an old serpent was his secret plan to seize and hold power by force without legal right, to seize heaven, to commit forcible or illegal seizure of the power of heaven, the earth, to use without authority or right. He's using the earth without authority or right. His plan was to employ wrongfully, to take possession of the earth through use. What made Lucifer an old serpent was his secret plan to usurp, to illegal seizure and occupation. So his whole scheme was to occupy the throne of heaven, which is the earth, through illegal seizure. Adam was clearly on the throne of heavenly rule, and Abel was obviously the heir to the throne of heavenly rule, having the favor of Yahweh. Therefore, Cain proved to be the son of Lucifer by committing the violent act of murder to take illegal possession of the throne of Abel, the throne that Abel was heir to. Now, this type of force of words expressed in Matthew chapter 11, verse 12, comes from the Greek word harpazo. The Greek word harpazo, Harpazo, and it means to strip, spoil, damage, hurt. Talking about these force of words are means to injure, to impair, and to disable. This type of force, expressed in Matthew 11:12, also means to blemish, to tarnish one's character, to destroy, break, to demolish, to ruin, to wreck, to ruin one's character, to wreck, to vandalize, to upset the mind, to corrupt the character, to pervert people, to defile people, to debase them, to vitiate them, to soil them, and to smear them in their character, to make sad work of their work and their culture and their history, and to turn it around the opposite of what it is. To seize upon with force is to rob, and it means this kind of force also means to steal secretly. This force spoken of in Matthew chapter 11, verse 12, also means a cunning and secret thieving, the robbery of another's property, to take to oneself, as in Matthew chapter 13, verse 19, as in John chapter 6, verse 15. It also means to steal another's culture and claim it to be your own, to steal another people's invention in your name, instead of publishing those inventions in their name, the name of their history, their culture, their God. Since our forefathers chose to disobey the commandments of our God, Yahweh, and chose to follow the words of Satan, Then Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh gave us a divorce. In Hebrew, divorce is garash, Gawrash. In Hebrew, it is spelled Gimel Resh Sheen. That's in Hebrew, it is spelled Gimel Resh Sheen, garash. Because Eve and Adam played the whore. That's why Yahweh divorced them. Because Eve and Adam played the whore with Lucifer, and we have continued to commit adultery and play the whore with the gods of this world until this day. Now this is Judgment Day. And Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nun Sophie, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, is here to forgive your sins and to reconcile, to cease your opposition to Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh and his laws, to harmonize and settle your inconsistency, to restore your communion with your God, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, through the revelatory knowledge of our holy feasts. Our banishment, our exile, and our divorce for these 5,996 years have caused us nothing but diseases, sorrow, and pain. Our divorce from the knowledge and exile from the knowledge of the tree of life for these 5,996 years have caused us tears and suffering, violence, blindness, and ignorance. Our banishment and exile from the tree of life these 5,996 years have caused us nothing but poverty and affliction. Our banishment and exile from the tree of life these 5,996 years have caused nothing but death, hunger, unemployment, and suffering. Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh has made sure the whole world understands the terrible penalty of disobeying his laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments by allowing you to eat the words of the tree of good and evil for these 6,000 years to the full. Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh has protected and hid the tree of life from the view of man for 6,000 years. And you are a witness that the results are chaos. The results are nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, children against parents, wars and rumors of wars, murder, violence, hatred, greed, and selfishness, drugs, sickness. The result is sexual diseases, murders, abortions of innocent babies, affliction and oppression. The result of eating from the tree of good and evil has been nothing but poverty, suffering, hunger, and pain, pollution of the water, the air, the food. The list goes on and on and on and on like the Energizer battery. On, that commercial, on and on and on. Now is Judgment Day, the last opportunity to choose the tree of life and live forever in heaven under the theocratic rule of Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh and his son, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nun Sophie, Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh. I hope you've enjoyed my notes on the Feast of Weeks, for this is the dynamic, divine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is given to us through the study of our holy feasts. They certainly constitute something other than eating food and drinking wine and making merry. I have made that emphatically clear. This Feast of Weeks, if it was not emphatically clear to you, Feast of Passover, this is certainly clear. And I thank Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh for blessing me to share this divine wisdom with you and the loosening of these seals relative to our high holy days, and we understand why they are called high holy days. I bless you and I love you forever.
Royal family and friends, thank you for listening. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, please visit us at www.yahweh144000.com. And also, you can enroll in the University of Yahweh by visiting us at www.universityofyahweh.org. Royal family and friends, have a glorious day in Yud Hey Wav Hey. Shalom, Royal family.